nailed it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Last American Pubcast. How are you, Tom and PJ?
We're well. We got it all set up. Can you hear us all right?
Yes, I can. Can everybody else hear us all right?
Yeah, so my internet crapped out about an hour ago, and I had just enough time to drive over to Tom's house, so.
And I am not prepared for this.
Thank God that we live close enough, though.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, everyone, for being here. If you could, like, share, subscribe, grab a link in the description below. Actually, I got to go up here. Hold, please. Toggle on. Toggle on. Save, save, save. Now we should be good to go. Now we're on everywhere. We are on. We're live everywhere we can be. Now you can do the intro again there, Abby.
Hello, and welcome to the Last American Pubcast, where we have all our shit together all the time, and you do too, right?
Yay!
Yay!
We'll go with that.
This looks like a split screen almost.
Yeah, we got the line right there.
I don't know what to do with these two in the same room. I feel like
we're having a sleepover.
Last American Pubcast sleepover edition.
Sleepover edition. Okay.
It's gonna be pillow fights later on. It's gonna be great.
Okay.
It's so nice to see you both. PJ in person, but Abby, I guess you're digital. That's fine, I suppose. Rumble no go. Waffle, don't say so. It is on Rumble. It's on Rumble right now. Not on my Rumble, for the record, but on the Last American Pubcast Rumble.
We had a few
Don't you lie.
Rumble last night. I know that they're. What's going on?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say we had a few issues with Rumble last night. I know they've been updating servers and stuff, so be patient with them. I know they're trying to improve stuff over there.
It's up on my end here. I will drop the link to our channel in the chat just in case someone's on the wrong channel. There we go.
Sweet. Yeah, I had a little like flash in my mind, like, do I just send it to my channel and tell you guys, like, listen, we still don't have that many subscribers? But I thought about it and I was like, no, even if we're only right around 300, the only way that we're going to grow that channel is by putting shit on it. Stuff on it. So.
Yeah. Stop calling our stuff shit, Tom.
That's my shit. I am a holla back girl. How was your week? I know it's only Thursday. My week's over because I'm calling it as a day. I'm just calling it today. I'm not going to do tomorrow. How was your guys' week?
It's been a week and a half, and there'll be another day tomorrow.
Yeah, no, my week's been interesting. I don't know. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of echo, and it's like throwing me off.
You don't.
No.
When Abby talks, I don't hear it, but I hear you next to me, and then you in my headphones, so it's throwing me off.
You want to just?
We'll just roll the first story, and let's just go with it.
Yeah.
It's only the echo from the show going into his headphones. That's the problem.
Does Tom have stories? Because I don't have stories.
We have all the stories from Telegram if you want to pull those up that I sent in earlier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, I guess we could start with the first one, I think, is the Hunter Biden story, if we want to start with that. So, I don't know if you guys saw this, but last night, Hunter Biden changed his defense on the whole laptop from hell thing. Of course, it wasn't his, and it was Russian disinformation, and it was all of these things. And now it is his, but he's the victim. So do we have that story right? Right there it is, yeah.
Classic liberal defense. I'm
classic
actually
liberal
the victim,
defense.
you guys.
I'm just a little victim. Here we go. Hang on. Hold, please. Skip it about. Share that. Do that over here. Here's the new tactic from Hunter Biden. You're going to have to throw that up there. I put it in our queue, but now you have to add it to the screen, Abby.
Oh, okay.
Hey, listeners and viewers, this is going to be the most insanely hard to watch podcast/pubcast that you will ever see.
Because I am a boomer with technology, and
no, it's because none of us know how to do this, and except for PJ, and PJ's the one that doesn't have the computer, so it's actually more maddening for him than anything, because he's sitting there watching all of us just biting his nails, grinding his teeth. All right, here, look at this story here. Anyone want to read who's a good reader?
Yeah, you want to? Well, you probably have it closer to you than I do.
Popcorn Abby. No, I'm kidding. I'll do it. For more than 2 years, Hunter Biden and his father have dismissed the laptop from hell as a fraud, a hack, or disinformation from Russia. And then as of Wednesday evening, Hunter's lawyers did an abrupt about-face, a U-turn. Yes, the laptop computer is his, they finally admit, but information from it was just stolen from him and published without his permission. So is that the new tactic that they're going with? Hunter's the victim of a theft, of a high-tech thievery?
Yeah, what's your thoughts, Abby?
I guess I just don't care anymore. And I don't care because they don't care. Like, we could keep beating this to death that Hunter is a shit person and corrupt and all of this, but they don't care.
Yeah, no, it is one of those things where it's like I feel like they just wear us down by just not caring about a story forever, and then it's like, well, I guess there's no point in pursuing this. The guy who has videos on his laptop of pedophilia and all of these other crimes, and I mean, that's the thing too, is we're finding out the financial crimes too, and I think people are so sick of hearing about the same things. Like Hunter Biden is a degenerate crackhead, all of these things that we just seem to overlook. The Burisma stuff, we seem to overlook the 10% to the big guy stuff. And maybe that's part of like our fault for like going after the really salacious, awful crimes instead of the ones that could actually affect his father, which is the real thing here. I mean,
Right.
This is pointing to not just this corrupt son of a politician, but the actual president of the United States. So maybe it's a way that we framed it kind of argument too, but it's hard to not take I wouldn't call it bait, but it's hard not to go like, hey, this guy is doing all these crimes and just getting away with it, and it's right here in front of our faces. And like the more heinous crimes really are his personal ones, but the financial ones are probably the ones that would be more politically advantageous, I guess.
I mean, if any of them were, I mean, is anyone ever going to prosecute Hunter, no matter how much we yell about it?
I think that might be coming. Like, it's possible that Hunter is someone who Joe is going to have to sacrifice. Like, I don't know that that's possible to say like it'll be forced, but maybe Joe Biden won't have a choice. Like if it's between Joe being impeached and removed or his son being charged and found in some way criminally liable, I think he'd rather have his son be charged and found criminally liable and not lose face himself. Because Joe's still a prideful person. If he weren't, he would be throwing his son under the bus already. But he thinks, oh, this is going to look poorly upon Joe Biden. So I think it's all about him saving his reputation in his own little warped mind. And I think he may end up just throwing his son to the wolves, because that's what we're seeing now from the CIA. They're throwing the Biden family out.
Right.
And so I think the Biden family will throw Hunter out. I think it's going to be
That's the thing too, is I think that the left is going to ignore this crime until they realize they're done with Joe Biden. I mean, because that's the thing.
Yeah.
They know that this being in the news consistently is kind of good for like the Kamala team, let's say, who wants to wait for that right time to get him out and implant the first female president of the United States.
Abby, is someone pretending to be you on Rumble with 2 Y's on the end of their last name?
That's me.
Oh, that is you? Did you change your name, or has it always been that?
It's always been that.
Oh, okay.
It's terrible. I thought I was seeing double. I was like,
What did I do to deserve you?
There's one part of this article, if you don't
that's
mind.
what my wife says.
Aw,
But she says it in a different way, I think.
I hope so.
No, I don't think it's the exact same way, frankly. It's like, what do I do? What did I do to get stuck with you? And what really is interesting is, for the people who didn't hear earlier in the week, we announced we are nearly 11 weeks pregnant. So there is a little baby floats on its way, and we don't know if it's a baby girl floats or a baby boy floats, but my wife is even more stuck with me now than she had been. So
Are you guys going to find out before the baby's born, or
100%? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I need to know what paint to put on the wall.
That's what I always think is, like, if you don't, then people buy a bunch of yellow clothes. And if you have a boy, I think yellow's feminine enough that it's weird.
Yeah, you're asking for them to be gay.
You're asking for they them if you don't find out at this point.
You're basically raising a gay bee at that point. No, I told my wife either she gives me a son or she gets a redo. No, I'm kidding. I didn't say that. Honestly, I think I'm the kind of guy that would be better off having a girl first and then a boy. Not that I would be happy, honestly, with a healthy child. I'll just throw that out there to the gods or to the one God that exists. So the universe that's listening, I just want a healthy child, 10 fingers, 10 toes. But yeah, we're excited. Can you tell?
That's awesome. Names in the chat. Naming rights goes to the highest super chat tonight. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, I'm
signed up.
totally willing to whore that out. Selling the naming rights. Listen, I can't give you a first name, but I can give you middle. I can convince the wife on middle. Pretty doggone easily, actually, I found out.
Yeah, I think we need a Megatron floats.
Dude, you're not too far off. I was trying to get her. We're really tossing around a couple fun names, and we did promise we're not going to tell people what the names are, just in case we do decide to go with one. But I'll tell you, there's some goofy ones like that. Like Bartholomew is out, but that was a consideration.
Nice. I like it.
That's great.
So there was one more thing about this article that I wanted you to read there at the bottom. When it talks, I think it's in the last paragraph where it talks about Elon Musk.
Why the change? Investigations are
Yeah, there
coming.
we go. Yes, yeah, I think that's it, right?
Yeah, can you read it?
Oh, yeah, it says, why the change?
You guys, he can't read. That's what he's just trying to dodge his responsibility.
I'm trying, yeah, I did not get a 5th grade education. Why the change? Well, investigators are coming from the Republicans in Congress and pretending the laptop isn't real work anymore. Under Elon Musk, Twitter won't run interference for the president by censoring stories, and even the New York Times admitted grudgingly that Hunter's emails are authentic. So this one stuck out to me because there's another story that I've been diving really deep into this week. And as soon as I read, Hunter's new defense is, this was stolen from me and I don't want it out there. It's non-consensual use of my laptop. And there's no way that Elon Musk would ban non-consensual material.
Can I interrupt you for a minute? Is Hunter being trafficked?
That's what I was going to say.
Is Hunter being trafficked online? Because I cannot be... Here, I'm going to take all back everything I've ever said about Hunter because I thought here he was being the criminal. He's a victim, you guys. He's been trafficked on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on the Patriots.win, on 4chan, on my phone. He's been trafficked everywhere.
He's been trafficked.
Hunter Biden is the new trafficking victim that we all have to care about if we're going by Elon Musk's new Twitter policies.
He's been trafficked to China and Ukraine and sold to all kinds of elites all over the world.
Right. Yeah, so really quick, if people don't get that joke, if you guys have not been following the Eliza Cuts or Seep or Blue or whoever her name is story,
it's Eliza Sipe, right? Eliza Sipe.
I think her real name is Eliza Morthland, and then she legally changed it to Eliza Sipe.
I would too if my last name was Morthland.
Yeah, I'm guessing
my last name is Borum, but I would never say.
Yeah.
I would never change that. That's bad enough. If I talk too long, I might Borum. It's like a fun last name.
Right, yeah. It's a lot better than Morthland, which I don't think I've ever heard before, except for her politician dad that she claims she's not related to. But
here, Abby, throw that one up on the old tube.
Yeah, so Eliza Blue has been claiming to be a human trafficking survivor since about 2020 when she went on to every right-leaning podcast that exists out there. And it kind of turns out that it's not any of it true. And her whole thing has been, someone posted a picture of a music video that she was in, that she agreed to, got paid for, all this stuff. And as soon as she said it was non-consensual, this publicly available YouTube music video, it's been taken down and defended. The taking it down was defended by Ella Irwin, who works for the Twitter safety and what is it called? Twitter
safety and whomever else. And it's also Podesta's niece, who's protecting the child pornographers. You have the mouse here if you wanted to check it out. It's Eliza Blue's own friends aren't buying her trafficking story. And when I saw her on Tim Pool, I was thinking like, okay, she seems like she's real happy to be talking about this one thing without, well, I'll say this. She's happy to make a career on having been a survivor without talking about the actual thing she survived. And when Michael Malice asked her, you were trafficked on Twitter, and she goes, yeah, well, I was trafficked on Twitter. I was trafficked on Instagram. I was trafficked everywhere. He goes, well, how are you trafficked on Twitter? And she kind of fumbled the answer as if she knew. She didn't have a great way of defining it. I think she might think trafficking means her pictures got seen by someone.
Well, what she said is
Oh,
trafficking
shit,
in
sorry.
that case is that someone used her picture, created a fake profile, and then used it to convince men to go to fake websites and give up their credit card information. So somebody was being catfished with her picture. Like, let's be honest, the real victim here is the guys who got their credit card information stolen. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not.
I'm still missing money.
Yeah, the whole article is really, really stupid long, so we don't have to look through that one. But I just thought talking about the story was interesting. What's your thoughts, Abby?
It's
Yeah,
crazy
how
to
often have you been trafficked?
so many times. I just
Is Hunter
I don't
Biden
even
being trafficked?
So many times.
yeah, I just don't even pay attention anymore. It's just like whatever. No, it's crazy to me how often we look up to a hero online. Just some person we've never vetted, we don't really care about their backstory, and then they do something crazy and it's like,
Lit.
"Oh no, my hero." Like,
Lit
why
had the
did you
greatest chat of the night right there. If she and Elon have a kid, which Elon, that's his whole MO, is like nail women who are available and willing to have a child with him. Will they name it Twitter Blue? That's funny as all hell. Now, why did she pick Blue as the name? That's weird to me. It's like that's a mole.
Yeah, I don't know. It's better than Seep, I think. I still never got that. Like, Eliza Knows you think would be like someone who's giving some kind of informational podcast instead of her video vixen days. And then Eliza Cuts is the only one that made sense because that's she was a hairstylist. And then Eliza Seep, I don't know, some like weird MySpace emo girl face, scene girl face.
Dude, my favorite Eliza, Thornberry.
Yeah, that was my favorite phase too.
She can talk to animals. I thought that was pretty hot.
Yeah, but it turns out that was all fake too.
She's a little Doolittle of her own. Some pigtails, I remember.
Oh no. Okay.
And
Well,
then Donnie, that little monster kid who couldn't talk. Is that a good enough
Aboriginal, yeah.
It's an Aborigine. Yeah, it was. Oh Lord, Abby, save us.
I can't. I don't know how.
Hey, there are more stories in the Telegram, but my mouse is way over there.
I don't have the Telegram on my computer.
Oh my Lord Almighty God! All right, well here, how about this? Well, we'll put all the things in the queue then.
Okay.
And you just talk for like 30 seconds. Just keep talking. Say some stuff. Go ahead.
I'll say something really quick.
Do it.
Yeah, because I'm going to cut off Abby as soon as she gets a chance to talk. You brought up the Michael Malice thing, and this is actually the part of the story that really blows my mind the most. Is I had originally just assumed that the Michael Malice interview was recent, and it wasn't. It was actually from 2021, and the fact that she was on every major podcast for the last year to year and a half. And that was in the first 5 minutes of her podcast with Michael Malice. She's like, my trafficking looked like someone creating a fake profile with my picture. The fact that that never got brought up or asked by anyone that interviewed her is kind of the part that blows my mind the most, because it did not take me long to find just every time she lied. Like I searched a lot, but I'm saying like in 15 minutes you find, oh, this is a lie. You search again, and this is a lie. This is a lie. This is a lie. The fact that no one vetted her enough to even listen to her most recent interviews with some of the biggest names out there and go, oh, that doesn't make sense. That's the part that I can't understand.
I think it's because she picked the exact right moment to start saying she was a human trafficking survivor. It was right when we were all very, very mad at Epstein and all the association with the Clintons and the left. And she insinuated, without stating, that she was an Epstein survivor, which was never been her claim.
But I
Slid
thought
right
she
into
was.
the
When I
yeah,
heard about her, I was like, oh, clearly she jumped off of she like swam away from the island. That's what she
Right.
made it sound like. She escaped the island.
yeah.
I think I did a video about a person who escaped, and then also Eliza was speaking, and I thought it was the same person.
Yeah, she very much led everyone to believe that, and I think that that's why we picked her up as, like, one of our little token hero people who speaks out against things that, I don't know if some of us are just not willing to speak out against, or if it's just because she had a platform and we were happy to cheer her on with her platform, but it seems like this just keeps happening where people are conservative heroes and then turn out to be really crappy.
One of our conservative heroes is Waffle Salter on Rumble,
Yes.
who sent a $50 super chat. Waffle, it's very,
Oh.
very generous and way too kind. Waffle Salter says, cheers. And P.S. Don't name your kid Cheers. I want to name it what everybody knows its name. So that might be Cheers.
It might be. Yeah, everybody would know.
Honestly, Kirstie Alley died this year. And if I had a girl, I kind of like Kirstie's a cute name, right? Said no one?
No, it is a good name.
Yeah. Kirstie. I like that.
Any Kirsties in the chat? Want to chime in? No? Hey, Abby, at any time you can just choose to share one of these pages that I've got.
Okay, here we go.
So here's the first one that says, from our little, what do we want to talk about tonight? Trump vows to punish the doctors, the hospitals, and anyone else who's provided gender-affirming care to transgender minors. This came out just the other day. If you didn't see Trump's video, he said, essentially, re-elect me, and I will punish all the people who cut off the genitals. Good, bad, and different. No more trans people. And the other thing was he said no more public funding for any trans person of any age at all. So it doesn't matter if they're a kid. You will not see public funding go towards this at all anymore, period. Which, honestly, that kind of gets me going, thinking maybe I want to become a lady.
I find it interesting because he's directly competing with Ron DeSantis, even though Ron DeSantis has not stated that he's running yet. Because from what I understand, Ron DeSantis has a new thing that he's pushing through in Florida, which is let's not trans the kids, which is reminiscent of the wait till 8 bill. And Trump's just going like, let's just not do this at any age.
Wait, what's the wait till 8 bill?
It's the don't say gay bill. It's essentially like don't
the same thing.
Well, because what it did was like, hey, don't
Oh, I see.
Indoctrinate the kids until they're 8 years old, which was like always kind of a really arbitrary early age. And I think it was I think it was tactical, but I just find it funny that Trump's like, you know what? Screw that. Let's just not do this at all. No transgender surgeries. Arrest the doctors who are training the kids. Let's go all the way. Like, this is his greatest thing that he's done in the last year since people started really talking about him. I guess 6 months since he's really started talking about running again. It's like he's had a lot of blunders here, like the Nick Fuentes Yay thing, his truth about the abortion stuff, and then he comes out with this, and I think he's getting the base riled up in a big way.
Yeah. He should have started with this, not blaming babies. Not blaming babies for losing midterms, but he should have let off with this. And
I think it's the baby's fault. They didn't vote. They could have. We didn't register their votes.
Yeah, that was on the babies.
Yeah, he should have led with this. I think he was scrambling for any reason that he could give to why the red wave didn't happen, and it ended up making him look really gross. This would have been a much better tactic early on.
I want to pull up Greg Price on Twitter, so buy me like 10 seconds, but I'm going to pull up Greg Price on Twitter because he had some funny video of the House of Representatives earlier screeching and crying because Ilhan Omar got removed from her positions.
Oh, my word. Ilhan Omar got removed from her committees, and everybody is freaking out about it.
And it's beautiful, frankly. All right, hang on. You can pull up. Oh, there it goes. And let's pull this. Yeah, nope, you got it. I just had to toggle over.
Come on, Tom.
Hey, you shush over there in Virginia, West Virginia, wherever the hell you live.
West Virginia.
I was going to say, I hope somebody starts.
Okay, so here are all the women. Notice there's not a single guy who's like, you know what I think about Ilhan Omar? Nope, they're all just like, let him die. Let her fry. Doesn't matter.
They can't even simp for her because they're not related. And they know they have no chance.
Gotta say that when I don't have something in my mouth.
That's what they told her. So you can see that's terrible. Here are a bunch of ladies talking about how it's terrible if you remove Ilhan Omar from her positions. Oh gosh. And now here's my not here literally mine, but in Michigan, ours.
Oh yeah.
Our congresswoman, if you could call her that. You can put lipstick on a pig and you can add a weave, but it's still well, she doesn't eat pork.
She does not eat pork.
Here you go. Here's Rashida Tlaib crying, and then I'm going to get to a better one.
Censor Congresswoman Omar in the same week. They introduced a bill to ban federal employees from engaging in censorship. Where are the free speech warriors today?
Right here.
The hypocrisy is obvious to the American people. You are showing who you all are, really.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
She's from Livonia.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
Omar,
the gentlewoman's time has expired.
that our country is failing you today.
Who fucking
Through this
who, lady?
chamber. You belong
The
in that
gentlewoman is no
committee.
longer recognized, and the gentleman from Mississippi is recognized.
Madam Speaker,
Now, she did kind of sound like a dying walrus.
Well, here's the thing: everybody's getting mad about this, but it's just some people who did something.
Yeah, only
Right.
a couple people. And they only voted to do something.
Yeah, just some.
So now you have you got to see this one. This is this lady, and I don't even know who this woman would be. Maybe she's like a literal like speaker for the House. Like, does she just announce things? She's an announcer.
I've never seen her before.
She is not Representative Stefanik. Like, one person posted this on Gab and said, Elise Stefanik totally got her. And I was like, that's not who this is.
No, I don't know who this is.
This is just a person who has the mic.
Is on adoption.
A lot like Abby on the show.
Yeah, pretty much same thing. Not a host, but she's talking.
She just bailed. She just bailed. I hope she knows how to add herself back in. There you go. Abby, we'd be lost without you. We'd just be two guys in my basement, which used to be my normal Thursday. So here you go.
Adoption of the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those in favor say no. No. It's the opinion of the chair that the ayes have it and the resolution is agreed to. And without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. Gentleman from Mississippi is recognized.
She, like, her voice cracks. The gentleman from Mississippi, please save me.
Do we know why exactly Ilhan Omar got removed from all of these?
She's a heathen.
Well, we know that, but yeah.
Do you have more to share, Tom?
Oh yeah, I know why. She got removed from the Foreign Affairs Committee because they said that they were referring to a bunch of her tweets saying that she said things like it's all about the Benjamins when referring to our support of Israel, which
Right.
frankly, when you tell me it's an anti-Israeli tweet saying it's all about the Benjamins, the first thing I think of is Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu, like obviously Bibi. But then they say no, it's about money, and I was like, well, that's silly. Like that, anyone has made that tweet. So
I
honestly,
think that one was weak, but I find her defense of it really funny, where she says, "I had no idea there was a trope about Jews and money."
I almost want to give her a high five for that. Like, yeah, good one.
I do think that was the weakest thing that came against her. But I find that hilarious that she's like, me, this person who hates the Jews. I have never heard the Jews and money and their big noses. I've never heard that one either.
Well, this is what I said earlier. I'm like, you know what? I don't like that that's how we're going to play. But if that is the game that's been played, and over the last 2 years, you've seen your Republican or MAGA representatives removed from committees because of things they've said. AOC screaming in a Greg Price tweet saying, I've been threatened. My life was threatened by Paul Gosar, and you guys rewarded him. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, if you want to play that, then we'll do the same thing. We'll also remove people from their committees because of things they said that we didn't like. And I don't like that. But if that is what it is, then hell, we're going to be better at it than they are.
Well, they set the standards. We should fight by them if that's what they want to do.
Right. As long as we are not violating the Constitution ourselves in a mistaken attempt to save it. Like we can't do that. We can't do that, but we can do everything else.
If we were enforcing the Constitution directly, like we would all be out in the streets right now with rifles.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
For sure.
Let's just all make that real clear. At least that's what Tom thinks over here at America Floats. I believe if we were enforcing the Constitution, we'd be knocking on the doors of the sheriff's home saying, are you with us or do you need to step down?
Mm-hmm.
And that would be happening everywhere in the United States that we have soil.
Yeah. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I've begun to wonder lately, it took me a long time, and maybe this is just I know this is a fault of mine. It took me a long time to realize that January 6th was actually the right thing. And we needed the wrong thing was not doing it harder. And the wrong thing was not.
Is this helpful?
No. Actually, works. I can hear Abby
Okay.
good enough, and then I'm not hearing you too much. Sorry. Go ahead, Abby.
I just want to make sure there's not an echo for everyone else too, because Lit said that there's an echo. I want to make sure that it's not like terrible.
I think it genuinely scared the left to see that some people were willing to do that. And I think that leaning too hard on it was all FBI plants and nobody actually insurrected was the wrong wrong direction to go.
Yeah.
Well, if you check my Parlor account that I don't use anymore, I was threatening Mike Pence's life pretty good. So I don't I don't think everyone was saying this was not what we should have done. I was up there going like, yeah, fucking kill him. Like I was whatever the worst thing that they were accusing of us of that day, I was cheering it on. So I'm not gonna say, anything but let my people go.
I'll say this too. We got baited into thinking that this would actually be more effective than it was because of it's more than that, but definitely the summer of love, right? The whole BLM rioting going on everywhere. It's like we've seen them burn down courthouses, burn down police stations, take over cities, and then they started getting their way. And everybody's going, hey, actually, political violence does work and has a place in America and in our Constitution.
Trump
And then as soon as we did a little bit of it, it was, Sorry, what did Trumpette say? J6 was the right thing. Yeah, $30 on Rumble. Thank you, Trumpette.
Thank you, Trumpette on Rumble. Super Chat says J6 was the right thing. Of course it was. I think everyone who can look back at it now after 2 years, look back at it. I think you can look at that and go, we should have just been a little bit. If everyone had been more peaceful, and I don't mean that like stupidly, because I know you hear that and you think peaceful protest. I think of it like if you had been calm, if people had all remained calm, then the cops can't pepper spray you. You can just stand there and be calm and have everyone record on their phones. The problem is because there were instigators and insurrectionists among the people, those people got spurred on. And I'll be the first one to admit too, if the reason I didn't go is because I know my personality, and I know my personality type is the kind that if I'm in that big group, I'm going to lose the forest for the trees, and I'm going to see the people going through the door, and I'm going to be right there with them because I'm going to think that I want to be the tip of the spear.
I also think Abby had a good point too about like the way we framed it, because if we would have stuck with, hey, Ashley Babbitt is a martyr, and actually like accepting that we need martyrs in
George Floyd
like
her. If we George Floyd her.
That's my point. If we would have made her into the next George Floyd, we would have been better than to focus on Ray Epps.
Yeah. I think a lot of people weren't ready. I mean, I don't think almost anyone who actually went into the Capitol building was ready. And the evidence of that is that there were no guns. That almost nobody showed up with any intent to do that. And I think that was the mistake, was acting on the passion of the moment instead of having a plan.
Yeah, do you mean it was a mistake not bringing guns?
What you described earlier of going to the sheriff's houses and saying, hey, are you with us or against us? I think we should have done that all over the country and then walked to Washington with our guns and said, hey.
Yeah, hey, I got my sheriff of this county, and so that represents the county, bingo. And then walk through Congress and say, hey, I've got this. Yeah, because if the Capitol Police have jurisdiction, because they have, it's the Capitol, then everyone answers to them there, and they can call it an unlawful protest, even if it isn't. So you almost have to have every other sheriff from the rest of the country there ready to say bullshit and pull a gun. And I'm sorry to say it, but that's what it's going to become. It's just, you don't want that to become your family. You'd rather have it be a sheriff somewhere.
Yeah. The Second Amendment does not exist for hunting, and it does not exist for defending your home. It exists.
Wait, what?
So that we
I gotta
can
go
do
change
this.
a paper. Hang on. Sorry.
It exists so that we can do this. The whole point of it being there is so that when, not if, when a government gets too big and gets too big for its britches, we have a solution. We have some way to deal with it. We have the guns, and they're just going to oppress us into the ground while we clutch our guns. I think that it's almost been a red herring this whole time to cling to the 2A as if that's saving us somehow. It's not.
Yeah, because you won't use it. You won't use it. It doesn't matter. You'll hold on to your gun as they chip away at the pieces on it until it's not useful. And then when you're about to use it, they're laughing at you because you don't even have the. I thought of this today. I'm like, if I wanted to tomorrow communicate with a whole bunch of people and coordinate an event, it would take weeks, if not months, of planning and preparation and having it be completely publicly known about. There's no way for me to send an email and have it go to the 8,000 people that subscribe to me on Odyssey alone. I can't do that. There should be a way to do that.
Right. Yeah. I'll say this too. I've said this for quite some time now that I think that the whole 2A community is a big psyop. And I really do. I think that the idea that they've implanted in everybody's heads is come and take it, right? We hear this all the time. So it's, as long as they don't come into my house to confiscate my gun, then we haven't reached a point where we actually need to use political violence,
which is a
right?
problem.
It is a problem because people are going to wait until they've taken away your ammo, which we're already seeing. We're getting it more and more expensive and harder to get ammo. Ammo is going to be eggs, in 6 months. It's going to be the same exact thing. Where if you don't have it, you're not going to get it.
Well, and think about it this way: I'll stay in my house and wait until they come to my door.
Yeah,
but then that means
individuals.
So they just come to individual things. I don't have a bump stock because I don't have an AR-15 and I don't have a rifle that I could otherwise have a bump stock for. But you bet your sweet ass, your sweet bippy, sorry, Abby. If I were going to have a rifle, I would also have as many different attachments, illegal and otherwise, as I could have, because I don't recognize a law that says I can't have one as being legitimate. And if I don't have them, they don't come for me. They'll just come for you, who has them. And then I'll wait until they actually come for something I have. That's a problem. We all should be up in arms, literally, saying, I respect that guy's right to have a tank, so everyone ought to have the right to have one. And if someone wants to encroach on that, that's the encroachment on my right to a pea shooter.
Right, yeah. And that's the other thing, too, is like people won't organize because they actually have been so coaxed into this belief that you have to wait until they come into your home to confiscate your gun before you're going to do anything. That's the line that we've drawn. That's the come and take it line that we've drawn. That's the PSYOP. That nobody's going to organize. Nobody's going to create militias, which is in our Constitution. We've actually shifted that responsibility over to the National Guard instead of what it actually was about. And that's the PSYOP, I think.
People that do watch the float show every day at 5 have seen me lose my cool from time to time and say, as a fair warning to anyone with a badge, if you're on my property, I'm shooting first.
So this is a comment here I see that all the time, and I don't know if you're saying it as a joke or in addition to what we're saying, but I lost my gun in a boating accident. I think you're saying it the same way that I'm thinking of it, which is this is the annoying line of, oh, well, as long as I just hide the fact that I'm doing something that I should be able to legally do, then that's fine, and we don't have to fight for our rights at all, right? It's another part of the PSYOP, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Curtis, for the record, if you're not saying it that way, I get what you're saying too. I'm not going to say where, but the neighbors know. There's a spot in our property. We have it just over an acre. There's a spot in our property where there's a good, if I had to ballpark it, I'd say there's 30 or 40 square feet there. It's like 5 by 8 dug out, and there's cinder blocks all put in, and it looks like it's like a place where 3 or 4 people could lie down and like be covered if there was like a bombing or something. And there's more than enough room for us to start stocking and storing stuff away in there. And the neighbors know about it. I know about it. We bought the property not knowing it was there, and then found it, and then asked the neighbors, like, what's going on with this? And they were like, oh yeah, a little bunker. So we have a bunker on the property, and there's no question. There's a boating accident that happened right over there, about 25 yards away.
I also lost my boat in a hunting accident.
I lost my boat.
It's weird how that happens.
I lost my boat in a rifle accident.
Yeah, that was really weird.
I lost my hunt in a. No, that just
you lost it there, Abby.
Yeah,
you lost that there.
Yeah.
Do you want to pop this screen up real quick, if you would, and then my friend PJ is going to read us a story. Nope, not that one. This one.
Ow.
All right, so Sunny to require DEI and social.
Dude, that's the Southern University of New York.
Yeah, Southern University.
It's not Southern. It's something else.
To require DEI and social justice courses.
What does it stand for? It's the State University. We could just know what we're talking about.
They should just put that in the headline.
They should.
State University of New York to require DEI and social justice courses in fall of 2023. I'm just going to call it Sunny because that's how it's written.
It's Sunny.
Sunny?
Yeah.
All right. Sunny.
If you're,
that's the person we just kicked out of
no, listen.
committees.
If you're a mechanical or electrical engineer and you have a degree from SUNY, email your resume to Tom. And you can just put that in the subject line to americafloats@protonmail.com. That's me right there. Send it to me.
Which one was Ilhan Omar, though? Was she Sunni or was she Shia?
She's a Shiite.
Okay.
She's a Shiite head.
All right. Yeah, Shiite head. So Sunni facility faculty members observes that it seems as if higher education no longer values debate and dissent. Only groupthink, obedience, and submission will be tolerated.
No kidding.
Yeah, that was obvious to everyone. Students will study power dynamics in social structures and interplay of variables such as power, privilege, oppression, and opportunity. So what's your thoughts on this, Tom?
Well, I'm not going to SUNY. That's for damn sure.
Or Shia.
Yeah, no kidding. Mr. DJs on Rumble says, waiting until they pick you just was under the impression we were trying to prevent them from recruiting to stupid ignorance. We outnumber the enemy. Yeah, about 4-1. But there are a lot of stupid. And that's definitely true. A lot of stupid. We just lost 10 people on Rumble. I don't know why. Okay, this says the State University of New York has introduced a new DEI in social justice. That's a new part of that.
So for people who don't know, that's diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Requirements for all incoming students for the fall of 23. SUNY is comprised of 64 different colleges and universities across the state of New York and accounts for over 1/3 of New York's post-secondary student population. They say the general education, the GE guidelines, were passed by the SUNY Board of Trustees in November of 2 years ago now, and will now be required for associate and baccalaureate degree seekers enrolling in fall. Here's my biggest problem with this. You're now telling everyone your degree only matters coming from one of these, top schools in New York, if you've first undergone and passed through the propaganda training. That's really all it is.
It feels like re-education camps have just like shifted from, like what's that movie with the Wolverines? Instead of like actually
Wolverine?
Yeah. The Red Dawn scenario where they like gather people and force them, and it's just like, no, we're just colleges are your re-education centers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I never saw Red Dawn. And then not the
Either
remake,
one?
not the remake either. Oh. And then the first Total Recall I saw was the remake in theaters, and I thought that was the recall. So like when I saw the original, I was like, what the fuck is this garbage?
Oh man,
I saw the remake.
so many thoughts. I don't like the new one.
I don't either.
Yeah,
After I saw the
it's not
original,
good.
I was like, what the hell is this garbage?
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying the okay.
No, I did, but then I saw it backwards and said the same joke.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, this whole thing of like this indoctrination requirements for colleges. What's your thoughts, Abby?
It all comes down to demoralizing the only people who could lead us into the revolution that we need, and that's the men. Like I
Abby,
can
who is it?
the men. I cannot lead our country back to where we need to go. I can't do it. There's even if I had all the women behind me, we couldn't do it.
Wait, you mean like that woman team up scene in Endgame isn't realistic?
It's not. We need we need the men to stand up, and every time, this is what's so discouraging to me, is that every time I speak up on Twitter and just call men to a higher standard, call men to higher account from a position of respect, from a position of like, we need you in the fight. We need you to leave the porn behind and all the things that are like holding you back from being strong in this fight and to actually do it. And men will just scream at me about feminism and how much women have hurt them.
Curtis Bartle adds something interesting to the chat. He says, I'm old and I'm a master of a trade. And I'd be very curious to know what the trade is. Not because I was because I was asking, hey, if you're a tradesman, send your resume. I know maybe that's why you're saying that, Curtis, but I'm also very interested to know what your trade is, because American people in the next 10 and 15 and 20 years are going to need to know how to rewire something, how to replumb something, how to add negative pressure to a water system, how to make sure that there's a positive charge in a current. Like there's going to be, and I don't know if I'm saying any of those things correctly, but there's going to I need to know too. There's going to be a lot of things that like, hey, you want to refix or rewire, replumb something in your house. There's not going to be the availability to call someone immediately and have them come like there used to be, like there is right now, just because I think there's going to be a lot more bullshit coming soon that we are not yet prepared for.
It's funny because it makes me think of like some of these McDonald's employees, the maintenance workers specifically, I was thinking of, because those are the guys I work with a lot. I feel like they're more prepared for a world like what we could see than your average person who's maybe making $150,000, $200,000 a year, because they have a little bit of knowledge in all of these different things. It's crazy to me that most men don't know how to fix anything around their house.
Are you just saying that because you're here?
No, I was just, no, not you.
Because like I know I got a lot of he walks in, he's like project, drywall, project,
Tom
ceiling
strikes
hole.
me as somebody who does all of his own stuff.
Yeah, I do, which is why it's not finished.
Ask
my wife. My wife is the only thing that
there's your positive and your negative comment right there.
I think there's a lot of women who really do want traditional gender roles, but we don't want to shrink ourselves to make it happen. Like there's a lot of women who want to be absolutely as strong as we can be. We don't want to be the strongest or most masculine in the room, but we don't want to have to be smaller to make men feel like you got to step up.
I love that you make that point because I think that's so incredibly true, and it's the one thing that a lot of these online fake masculine dudes don't want to recognize. They're like,
Right.
well, if only women would just be smaller, then I could look big. And I feel like that's the entire backwards way of thinking about things. Like if you have to minimize somebody to be bigger, then you're doing everything the wrong way.
Yeah, like one of the things he didn't notice when he walked in was the weights that are all over the basement because I've been trying to get a little bit bulkier. Because I realized like I can't depend on being like, oh man, this thing in the yard might be too big for me to. I might have to wait for my wife to come home. Have a second pair of hands. Like that seems insane. So I just need to start getting a little bit bigger, and I don't want my wife to be smaller in any way. I mean, she's gonna get bigger. I'm going to have to get way bigger, both career-wise, both personally, both maturity-wise, all those things, which, I mean, I look forward to. But just to your point, like, I don't think there are the strong women don't want to be minimized. They do want to do exactly all that they can do and then some, and then still be outdone by their husband and provider, which
Right.
I can tell you right now, I'm not doing my best job on.
Yeah, I've always been a really strong personality, and growing up in the context that I grew up in, I felt like in order to fulfill my gender role, I would have to become less.
What's on your phone?
And I think that was always wrong. And I think that that's what drives a lot of women towards feminism is just this feeling of like I can't even be myself because people will be mad at me for making them feel small. And I think that has to be part of this whole femininity masculinity conversation.
I mean, Indian Toes said it in the chat. Her husband Digger can rewire something. He can replumb something. I hope he's out of the hospital, by the way. But yeah, no. Which way to the rate room? Is it over there? Is it over here? I don't know which way is it. I'll find a way. It's fine. I wasn't thinking that. But yeah, no. Like it just goes to show. I mean, if I were to pull the camera off of the top of the monitor there and just walk it into the bathroom, you'd see that there's a hole in the there's two holes because I still have to put the vent on
And
and
the
the fan.
the other day.
There's a fan cover and a vent that I need to put back into the ceiling because I replaced some drop tiles. The easiest thing you could do, replace drop tiles, and I still haven't finished the project. So it just goes to show men are not what they used to be because I'm supposedly a 30-year-old man. I'm failing.
I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, look, the projects will get done. There's no need to remind me every 6 months.
Yeah, or every 6 hours. Jeez Louise. Yeah.
And I'm guilty of failing at the feminine side of things. There are times when I just let myself get wrapped up in other things and I don't vacuum for a month or something and like
Wait,
it,
John
it
doesn't know how to push a vacuum around? I'm just
He's a firefighter, so he would just like light the carpet on fire and then hose down the foot underneath.
well, to be clear,
Honey, it
John
smells like
works
burnt hair.
John works almost double the hours that I work, so I do all the housework and it is my responsibility. That's our arrangement and but it's also like I feel good in that role and I don't feel good when I see him trying to do something that like washing dishes. Like he does it just fine. I feel like I'm failing. And I think he would feel like he was failing if I was trying to lug something heavy around without asking for help,
I can get that. Yeah. I completely understand that. Like if shoot, I forget what it even was. Oh, my wife she's packed a bag. She's at a family funeral tonight. I said on my other stream I skipped the family funeral tonight to be here instead. Did I tell you guys that? That's why I was like, yeah, you better be coming over to do the stream because I didn't go to Detroit for the funeral for this show. I don't want to skip 2 in a row. So the skiing was important. The funeral is less important. I did not go to the funeral for this reason, for it to be right here. So she packed a bag up and she was, picking it up like, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like picking up a heavier bag. But to your point, I, in that moment felt like I should really go grab that bag for her and didn't because, just the thought was fine. That's the thought that counts.
Yeah, we have I think society is so broken and I think that the genders aren't kind to each other in recognizing that there are things that both sides need to do to help things get better. What comment do you want me to pull up?
Oh, Tom, we have this line here, and Tom is crossing the line.
I was crossing. PJ said I was infringing.
So you know that like every episode of every sitcom in the 90s, there was that idea that everybody always had where it's like, let's just draw tape down the room. Everybody's seen this episode on everything.
This is my half of the house, and that's
so
your
we're playing out that 1990s sitcom episode on stream.
Well, you guys enjoyed that. But
Abby, you just soak up your full screen to yourself there. Don't even know how good you have it.
Yeah, you don't have any idea. That's what we've done.
Is that the guy that says it's fine?
Yeah.
You should light him up on fire and burn it and take a video of it. Right now.
But I think so many. No, I'm not burning down my dog in a house with a firefighter. That's.
Oh yeah, good
but
call.
like,
You'd be
what
able to
better
put it out.
house to have a fire in?
It's actually the house to do it in.
Never
Look,
live that
I've
down.
lived through 2 house fires, and no one in my family was a firefighter.
No, really? You
my
lived in a
life
house fire?
twice. Yeah, when I was 3 and when I was 13.
Why do you keep lighting houses on fire, dude?
Yeah, come on, PJ.
It's an obsession. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, gotta live for the burn, dog.
PJ really likes
The insurance money.
calling in those hot firefighters.
That's what it was. And then, in fact, he shot the prequel to Bros. And that
Yeah, that's why he asked me to co-host a podcast to get to John. We
How
all
did you
know
guys
that's
meet?
why.
Has anyone ever asked you guys how you met?
I think it was through Rob of North Arrow, sort of.
Because I've never officially
on
met
Twitter.
Rob. I've only unofficially met him. He's never put me in contact with someone once.
Yeah. No, it was through Twitter somehow. I don't know exactly how, but at the time when I was doing wartime propaganda, so I gotta take this off because I'm hearing myself.
Yeah, dude, you're sounding wrong.
Well, it's like I'm talking slow because I'm hearing myself.
You can't hear
twice.
it, but on this end, it's like it's like there's like at least a solid half a second delay. It is kind of
it's fucking me up. So yeah, we met through Twitter, and then I
video.
asked Abby to come on my show at one point. That was basically like I was just kind of asking anybody.
So she comes on a show and she becomes a part of it, and I've seen that now happen twice.
Twice.
Hey,
That's how
Abby,
you know
you're never
she's a
coming on
fed.
the float show.
That's how you know she's
never
a fed.
once. Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
hypnotized. Good,
Well,
you want to be a part.
See, this is how it goes. PJ finds somebody, and then they magically make their way to the next show.
Yeah. So we were most
That makes
recently on.
sense.
We were most recently on the shipwreck show. So I'm sure next month she'll be co.
I'll be on the shipwreck show. Yep. By the way, bye.
Yeah, see ya.
Just kidding.
Honestly, we could just redo this basement and put a 3-cam setup, one tight on you, one tight on me,
Right.
and one group shot, and then we could just edit it later and put out an actual pod.
Good.
Because you see all that shit in that box over there. I used to do that.
Nice.
I had a podcast called the Borum Forum. And I would talk to people, including Juanita Broderick. I rebroadcasted that.
Oh yeah. You told me
Nice.
about that, but I've never seen it.
Yep.
What is this guitar you shed of, PJ? What am I talking? What?
What is this guitar you shed of, PJ? Yeah, you shed your guitar, dog. Where are your guitars? What is this guitar you shed of?
I left my guitars at home. Yeah, I guess.
You shed of them.
I shed them at
You
home.
shed of 4 guitars.
Oh,
Actually, I have 5. Just one of them's off camera. So,
There's a guitar over there. We could have you tune it and come back in 10 minutes after you've warmed up and you can play a ditty.
what's our next story?
Who wants to hear PJ play a song? Who wants to hear PJ play a song, everybody? Yeehaw! We got a guitar in the corner. He can go tune it up and come back before 9 and play us out.
or we could talk about eggs.
No, I want to talk about eggs.
Yeah, let's talk about eggs since Tom's
Yeah,
a
great. Wanna
chicken
talk about
farmer.
Fine, if you're going to talk about eggs about it.
Do you have it?
Do you have that?
Oh, shit.
tweet
I'm
thread
sorry.
that I
Yeah,
pulled
no,
up?
you wanted me to pull it up. My bad. Oh, boy. Is that it? Yep, here it is.
So I found this interesting. Someone asked on Twitter this morning, "What's this whole thing about?" They haven't been paying attention to the egg story. They're like, "Why are eggs expensive? Why is everybody talking about eggs and COVID? Like, what's the link there?" So I kind of pieced it together for people. And before we get to that article, really quick, I just want to kind of like recap a little bit what I tweeted out this morning. So basically,
Oh, wait. Do you want to ask people to like and share and subscribe and all that stuff? Is that what you said?
no, I was just gonna say like there was
No, I was.
Sorry, it's the echo that's just throwing me.
Hey,
off.
like and share and subscribe and grab a link to the in the description below. Help us all grow the channel and keep the Last American Pubcast growing every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Rain or shine or Wi-Fi or not.
She died of eggs. So yeah, so basically everybody's noticed the price of eggs has skyrocketed. We're hearing these news stories. Another one came out today. There's an egg shortage coming. And then I think it was within the last 2 days we saw another farm of, was it 100,000 or more chickens?
It
that
was
burned
one
down?
of the larger egg production factories in
Right.
the country.
Right, yeah. So one of those burnt down again. So I was kind of like piecing together these things. And what I've noticed is that at the same time we're seeing the egg shortages, we're seeing obviously farms burning down, we're seeing avian influenza spread. And one of the things I find interesting is all of these backyard chicken farmers. Tom's one of them, but I'm sure you feed. What do you feed your chickens? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, there are hitchhikers that come by every couple
Yeah,
weeks.
just like throw things off the side of the highway.
That checks out.
No, spare tires, plastic.
But do you feed them like?
They have layer food, so they have like layer crumble. So here's what I do: I buy cracked corn or the scratch grains, which are like the odd grains that the chickens would otherwise pick up in a field, but because I don't have a field to pasteurize them, I lay that on the ground. Then I give them layer crumble, so I put that in their little food thing, and that's just the crumble of all the different protein and minerals and stuff that they need to make food that makes the egg. So if they're going to make eggs, and I have 7 laying chickens today, I'm going to have a whole bunch more in the spring.
So is it like a feed that you would pick up from like TSC or Family Farm?
Bingo.
Home?
Yep. Tractor Supply or the Farm Family Home Store. That's where I go. And I have noticed there are a bunch of different recalls on chicken food.
That's the thing that I was going to point out next is I don't know which feed it is. I'm kind of trying to track this down, but there's
It's
certain
Producer's
people-
Pride.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Producer's Pride is the one.
You can't
there,
sue
I
me,
guess.
Producer's Pride, because it's proven. You guys suck.
Yeah. People are noticing their chickens stop laying eggs for weeks, months, whatever. And then as soon as they switch them to a different feed, they are starting to lay again. So we're having egg shortage because of all that. And
Yesterday, I tried to make a quiche,
yeah.
and I fucked it up because I left it in the oven way too long. I thought what I was doing was this. I was being real smart. It needed a few more minutes, so I was just going to leave it back in there for a few more minutes. I turned the timer off. When I turn the timer off, I typically also turn the oven off, and then it can just kind of cook off and stay, and it doesn't ever get like too much hotter. I didn't turn the oven off. So I came back hours later, and there was like a bread brick of egg in a... You know what I did? I fed it to the chickens, along with some peach halves that have been in the fridge for probably a better part of a year. So they get all the old stuff that we would otherwise throw out. They get that. They make it my breakfast.
What you should have done is hung it on a wire, and then as soon as somebody opened your front door, it like tripped it and it swung down, hit them like a paint can in Home Alone.
I am home alone right now, but that would have been you getting hit with it.
No,
Yeah,
you're
that's the
not.
thing. I would have been
He was
knocked on my
there.
brick eggs today.
DJ just walked right in, and the dog was going nuts. And if I had done what he had just described, he would have been hit with it. Mr. DJs on Rumble says, "Do you think food producers will start getting security, or do you think they're selling out?" Well, I'll tell you this.
I'll go ahead and give your opinion first.
Real quick, not even an opinion. Fact.
Okay. Fact.
On Odyssey the other night, Waffle Salter and a few other people made it possible. There was a deal that was $218. It's on sale for $149 for 2 trail cams that act as like an automated, like if there's movement, it turns on. So I'm gonna have those facing my chickies. At least that way, if someone does kind of come up and fuck with the chickens or steal an egg or something, like I'm gonna be aware of who it is. But yeah, so $150 for 2 trail cams. That's one way to do it for sure.
So I don't think that they're selling out, but I will say this: like, there's always been a lot of incentives given to farmers to do things like dump milk on the ground.
Oh, he meant
things
big
like that.
farmers.
I was talking about big farmers too, because like the reason I'm saying this is I used to work at one of the biggest egg producers in the country, and we had a fire of bird. I think it was a 300,000 bird.
Eggland's Best?
No, well, we sold to Eggland's Best, but Eggland's Best is just a brand they buy from other farms.
Wait a second. Peel back this shell, if you will.
Eggland's Best is not a farm. Eggland's Best is a brand that buys from other farms.
How many farms?
A lot. Herb Brooks is one in Michigan that sells to Eggland's
You work for
Best.
Herb Brooks?
I did, but I also worked for one in Indiana. So,
The more you know.
yeah, so I've worked in my dad did, and then I, just
Family
kind of,
business.
as a kid, worked part-time on all these different farms. My point is, like, I've seen these big fires happen before, and I know the security at these places, and I know that there's times where they are incentivized to dump eggs and things like that, but I don't think these fires are happening from the farmers selling out. I think what's happening, if anything, is if they're intentional, I think that it's pretty easy to get an employee. They just hire anybody. You know what I mean? They'll hire anybody to work one job. I think that could be happening. But
My employers did.
I mean, these farms are huge. They've got like tons of immigrant workers, things like that. Like, it'd be
My
pretty
thought
easy
was
to get somebody into
my
sabotaging.
my
the
thought
place.
is it's not even that. It's that listen, if it's the biggest egg shortage in the country's history,
right.
if the eggs are selling at an all-time high price, if the production needs to be turned over faster than it ever has before, you're gonna get accidents. You're gonna get mistakes. You're gonna get people that leave a live wire on the ground accidentally. You're gonna have hay that drops where it shouldn't. You're gonna have a fire start under a fan where it doesn't need to. And I think that's what's probably happening here. But what we're not talking about is the hundreds of other very, 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 very small time egg manufacturers who are not getting any eggs overnight all of a sudden.
Well, that's the thing. They're getting the feed from these big.
We
feed
look at the big
producers.
fire, we don't look at all the feed problems.
And I think that might be part of it too. Is like fires happen somewhat regularly. I know they've been happening way more, and that's the thing. Like, people want to discount all the fires in these food processing plants, but I think the fires are the least of the problems. I think when you've got this baby formula manufacturer in Kalamazoo that was basically, the FDA came in a couple of times and said, you guys are not up to code. And
Yeah,
then
they shut them
finally
down
they
when it was-
decided to shut them down. It's because they were trying to create a shortage. So they didn't hold these people to account until it was necessary to create the fear and things like that. So
So baby formula, it's with chicken feed. And, you know, if that doesn't scare you enough, Albert Bourla, who's the CEO of Pfizer, his whole veterinarian thesis was done on the control of fertility of sheep. So,
right. So, but what I wanted to get to ultimately with this whole thing about the egg stuff is that there might be another reason why they really don't want people eating eggs right now. Do you want to pull up that story, Abby?
Yes, I do.
So it's looking like chicken egg yolk antibodies are found to block the binding of multiple SARS-CoV-2 spike protein variants in humans.
dude,
this comes from
the bat
PubMed
virus,
Central.
the bat virus gets killed by chicken. Who'd have thought?
Right?
That wannabe bird. The
I can't wait till the
bat
new
virus
comic
gets-
book where Batman gets defeated by Chicken Man.
the Hawk Man.
Hawkman. Yeah.
So
I just find it funny that they're trying to like hide this thing right now. They're actually putting out scare articles saying died suddenly is coming from eating eggs. I saw another article today that said if you eat eggs daily, you are going to be 60 times more likely to die of diabetes or something like that. Like, all these things that we all have known is crap forever.
dude, if I eat eggs daily, which I do,
Same.
then I
Right.
then I bet we're gonna probably have the same cause of death, which is government.
Right. I mean, this goes hand in hand with the food pyramid. They're just lying to us about food. Did you see they said Lucky Charms is healthier than steak?
Yeah, hey, by the way, hearts, stars, and horseshoes, Culvers and blue moons, pots of golden rainbows, and a red balloon. They are nutritious, okay? So
I mean, there's no cool phrase like that about steak, is there, Abby? Do you have a cool like jingle that makes us believe steak is healthy?
Wagyu or Kobe? Nope.
What is it? What's for
No.
dinner? Was that chicken?
Where's the beef?
Yeah. We
Here-
got the
okay,
meats.
this is a slightly unrelated thing, but I think it's worth bringing up.
It
is
always
that
is.
jacked guys have a reputation for being airheads, right? Just guys with lots of
Meatheads.
muscle.
Meatheads.
meatheads.
Girls are airheads.
Yeah.
Okay,
Get it right.
meatheads.
Because
Meatheads.
she's an
Airhead.
Yeah.
I several months ago joined Gain Trust, which you can find on Twitter, which is a group
not.
of
Go ahead.
a community of people who live together and it's just a community. It's a fitness community online. And I figured out, I was like, oh wow, there's a lot of like nerds in this community of like the coincidence of nerdery and big muscles is so strange. And then I started to realize this is a feature, not a bug. Like our society has been putting down this thing for so long that I genuinely believed that more muscles equaled less brain cells.
Yeah, what is it? Who is it? Socrates or is Plato? Somebody smart. I don't know. Not me. I'm not smart. But they said the society that separates their thinkers
Plato.
from their thinkers from their warriors,
Yeah.
or the brave from the intellectual or whatever, has their thinking done by cowards and their fighting done by idiots or something in reverse.
I think that was Plato, and yeah, I mean, Plato's whole idea was philosopher.
No, dude, I don't like
kings,
Plato.
right?
I never played with that as a kid.
Okay, you guys are both right.
Rise
It was
up too
Plato quoting Socrates. Continue.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, do we even know if Socrates existed? I mean, Plato just wrote it.
No, we
It
don't.
was a platonic relationship.
Yeah.
Stop.
Good point. Yeah, I was just saying, like, I found this to be true too, that the biggest nerds I know are also the gym guys. So I feel like
Gym guys nerd out about the gym. Like they nerd
Some
out
of
about the metabolism. They're like, oh, I know the whey proteins. I know this. I know my weights. I know my this and that. Like they're nerds about some things.
are you saying, Abby, that you think like a lot of this idea is you'll be smarter if you're not physically healthy, and all of
Right.
the evidence shows that if you're physically healthy, that your brain is going to work better?
Yeah, what about an
Right.
arm hang? Like if you're holding there for more than 10 seconds, are you smarter? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, that's
No.
just a woman thing. Like, that's
No,
not-
I'm So what I have found is that they're nerds about the gym, but they also are nerds in general. Like they're coders and they're lawyers and they're people who have recognized that lifting weights and eating protein makes them more efficient at the other things in their lives. And so I think it is a symptom of being smart sometimes that you're also jacked.
So maybe the people who have their lives put together are also people who find value in working out. And so
Mhm.
when you see people at a place where you go to work out, you're going to see people who are dedicated to that. And a lot of those people are going to have the same overlap of their lives put together.
Yeah.
You'll never catch my ass in a gym.
You know what's funny is I've lived a lot.
That was funny.
That was funny.
PJ.
Besides Tom's, thing. What's actually funny though is that I lived in a lot of places growing up, and you know how you watch Hollywood movies, and you're like, school's not like that in real life. Is this like a 1980s stereotype?
Yeah.
And then I moved to California. I was like, oh no, actually, it is exactly like that.
Yeah.
And it was so weird to me because growing up, I was like, this whole like jock nerd like thing is not the truth anywhere I've ever lived. And then I lived in California. I was like, oh, yeah, no, that's exactly like that.
Yeah, but is that because all the people in California are already living extremes? Like their parents were extreme because they were like, oh, we got to go be out in Cal. So either their parents were already jocks or their parents were already nerds. And then they're like the proto nerd or the proto jock. And then we are all supposed to like emulate that. And that becomes the jock or the nerd stereotype in the Midwest.
And that's what's so funny is like everybody expected that to be a thing. And then they got to high school, if you live in the Midwest at least, and you're like, oh,
like,
actually,
oh shit, I'm all
not.
of those things.
Yeah.
I'm in band
Little
and
bit
a
of
varsity
everything.
person, and I'm taking APs, and I'm sick with it.
I played football. I was in a band, and I did plays. I was like in every group.
You did plays?
Yeah.
Tight. Which ones?
I don't remember.
I was in the Sound of Music.
Don't
in fourth
remember.
grade.
You
I
do
played
too.
Kurt.
I don't
was not
buy
in
it.
high school plays.
Adieu to you and you. And
Yeah, PJ, I don't believe that you don't remember what plays you were in. Come on.
he knows.
I didn't. I was not in drama.
He was in
high
the
school.
chorus. That's why he doesn't want to say.
I've done other.
Because if he says which play, then we're going to ask which part he had, and then we're going to
Come
find
on.
out it wasn't a big part.
That's probably what it was. Yeah.
He starred in Peter Pan
Ah.
as Tinkerbell. No.
You know what? It's less offensive for you to say I was Tinkerbell than Peter Pan because Peter Pan's never been played by a guy.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, well, one time.
Yeah. And you know, it's not even a feminist thing. It's
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
the role has too many lines to cast a child. So you have to cast an adult woman.
It's the only way to make it seem like a
as Peter
10-year-old
Pan?
boy.
I thought it
Yeah,
was because the director spends the most time with the star and they don't want to waste their time.
Went total Weinstein on that.
I thought we were talking about the realities of Hollywood.
Yeah, right.
No, even
The
even in
theater.
even in Christian conservative acting troops, that's the math there, is that we'd have to cast someone who's too young to learn this level of lines and this level of emotional acting.
Yeah,
or we
the
cast
other
an
thing
older
about
woman.
that play is that they only let the actor who plays Hook be the dad, or vice versa. The actor who plays the dad at the beginning of the play is also the actor who plays Hook.
Yeah. I like that.
Fun thing for y'all to know.
I thought he was the pilot. Hook.
He crashed.
No, you ever see the movie Hook?
Yes.
The pilot. Yeah. Okay.
I'll be right back, you guys.
All right. We'll try to keep things going. Well, we can't pull anything up on screen.
No, we don't need to. It's just us hanging out. If you like the show, don't forget to hit the like button, share a link to the show with someone that you know, try to grab a friend or a family member or a foe, and help us grow on Odyssey, on Rumble. If we're on YouTube still, that'd be fine. I know I was going to say Peter Pan was played by Robin Hood in Hook, but Robin Williams, Jesus Christ, yeah.
We'll
It's
there.
after 8 o'clock.
That was the best version of Peter Pan, I think everybody can admit.
Because it was like a spin-off.
Yeah.
It was like a, hey, Peter Pan never happened. We need someone to play Peter Pan. And then it was it. Right? Or it was like a sequel of what was. Because he had gone to Neverland but come back. He was a lost boy who grew up.
Essentially, yeah.
I gotta watch Hook again.
I watched it with my kids last year, and I was like, this movie holds up. It's so great.
The Boo Box, Glenn Close.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you knew that was Glenn Close. That blew my mind when I found that out. Look it up. If you guys don't know, Glenn Close plays the male pirate that gets put in the Boo Box.
Never wanted to have sex with a pirate more. I'm kidding. I wanted to do Shmee.
Yeah, well, Shmee's kind of cute and short and thick, right?
He can't run fast.
Few scenes. Dustin Hoffman was Dustin Hoffman was great.
He was the Hook, right?
Dustin Hoffman was Hook, yeah.
We're still talking about Hook?
We were left with nothing.
We're thinking about changing
we
this.
just had to roll with it.
We're thinking about changing this to a Hook podcast.
Bangarang. Bangarang.
That's what we'll call it. We'll call it Bangarang.
Bangarang on Thursday
Skrillex
nights.
Says the intro.
Oh, dude, featuring Sarah. Hey, by the way, Siraj at Rumble is helping us move the channel over, which is phenomenal. So if you are watching on Rumble, great. If you're not, just go watch on Rumble or subscribe over there. That'd be great. Mr. DJs had said that the farmers are being paid to not plant and paid to dump excess crops. Wouldn't be surprised if livestock were being intentionally killed off or otherwise messed with feed or anything else. Excessive producers are going up in flames or otherwise being shut down. So that big egg producer we all saw maybe had a fire because they weren't playing ball, cutting their production.
That's actually what I would think more than the other ways.
You think they were infiltrated and lit up?
I would believe that before I believe that they lit their own barns.
For sure, dude.
Yeah. I would believe
I own 7 chickens. I would never let anything happen to them. I can't imagine one person being like, "Yeah, light 1,000,000 chickens on fire."
See,
you'd kill yourself.
Here's the thing about like the PETA propaganda growing up with that, being son of a large farmer, having our lives threatened by PETA literally all the time, is like
aim for the heart.
Like what I've learned about farmers is like we have like PETA has put this propaganda out there where they hate their animals, they just want to abuse their animals, and I couldn't find people that care about animals more than people who are farmers. So this idea that they would just burn down houses, these big barns with 300,000 chickens in them, I don't buy it. I don't buy that the people who own these farms are behind it. I do think
to that
be
point,
though.
That is how I think Clint Hickman got away with the framing of his hatchery farm, his hatchery fire, because Clint Hickman is one of the board of supervisors in Maricopa. He had access to a bunch of the ballots in 2020 that were burned, and they were burned supposedly at his egg farm that had a major fire where they claimed one of their 4 sites burned down. And yet less than 10% of their chickens died. So how's the numbers don't add up unless there was not chickens, there was ballots. Anyways, I don't believe that a chicken farmer would burn their chickens because I have chickens and I can't imagine it. So there's my bias.
I know that they will at times like dump eggs if it's more financially.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, but it's true.
I mean,
you're trying to make an omelet? That's one
they've
thing.
been doing that at least since the Great Depression. I mean, there was massive amounts of food destruction in the Great Depression.
Farmers got paid during the Great Depression to dump food on the ground, and we're still doing it today. It's never gone away.
The Depression created what we now know as government cheese. And if you are not aware, in Wisconsin, there was so much milk, and it was raw, unpasteurized milk, that they could not keep, that they had to create something out of. The government bought it from the farmers to keep them from going out of business and starving. And as a result of the subsidizing of the country in doing that, they created what they now call government cheese. So the government has vaults and vaults and vaults and vaults of cheese made from this milk. They couldn't dump it, but they can make cheese out of it. And now, a little history lesson for you all at home. The government cheese still exists. It's from decades and decades ago. You can apply for the government cheese and it will always show up, and because they have so much of it and it's illegal for them to dump it, they'll always have to give it away. You'll never starve in America. You'll always eat government cheese.
And they put it in MREs and it's terrible.
And it's basically like a chalk brick, but it's cheese. And you know what? If you put it over a like a powder grinder enough, you powderize it, you can sprinkle it on popcorn. It's awesome. Is that a raccoon? Oh my God. Oh, it's a cat. Guys, I'm 30. My eyes are going. Oh boy.
This is Boots.
Boots.
Because he
Hello,
has little
Boots.
boots.
That's so cute. Thank God you didn't call him Socks, because then I'd have to make fun of you for being a Clinton.
Well, we got him from a family who had a little boy, and the little boy's the one who named him Boots, and we just didn't have the heart to change it. So
Like Puss in Boots, or not related?
I think that's where he got it from. But
Gotcha.
yeah, I have a story. If
Can
Yeah,
you
what's
please?
up?
Yeah, we're dying here.
we're dying.
No, I'm kidding. we're having fun.
Okay, we have. How do I make this?
Hey, if
bigger,
you're
you
watching
guys?
this, like the video, share the link to the stream on your Twitter and your Gab and your Getter and your Truth and your Minds and your Facebook and your Foxhole, whatever else you use.
Okay,
Yeah.
how do I make this bigger? Because I'm a boomer.
That's what he said. Zoom in, control, and then zoom.
Control plus.
Control, scroll
Control.
up.
Oh, that's another way.
Oh.
Control plus will also do it.
Right.
Click the page and then hold control and scroll up. Not on the scroll bar, but with your scroll button. There you go.
Yeah, there we
Okay.
go.
Just
If you do it one more
in.
time, it'll go even bigger. It'll get rid of the sidebar. Couple more. One more. Two more. There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
Look at that.
Nailed it.
Look at you go.
First
You're
try.
streaming. Look at her. She's
Ah.
streaming.
Oh my word.
Pro now.
So
That's
3
like
hours
Eliza
ago.
Blue Pro.
I'm being so obnoxious. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you guys. I get mocked mercilessly by my husband for not knowing basic tech things, so I appreciate. Anyway, just in, suspected Chinese spy balloon has been hovering over the northern United States for the past few days.
No
U.S.
shit.
government has reportedly.
I thought that was something that I had lost in the backyard. That's the Chinese the whole time.
U.S. government has reportedly considered shooting a suspected Chinese spy balloon out of the sky over the United States. Photo.
Why are we just
spy balloon
considering it?
over
Why aren't we
Montana.
doing it?
Are we such a weak country that we're like, hey, the Chinese are spying on us, but we don't want to shoot the thing down? I mean, that might be rude.
We're thinking about it, but we're not
Committees.
sure. Either we it's not.
That's the real reason they kicked Ilhan Omar off the board.
This is Joe Biden bending over and doing his old goatsy gait because he's allowing for China to insert this balloon into our airspace.
Why do they need
He's
a
pulling
balloon?
his cheeks apart.
I just want to understand why they need a balloon when our own government is spying on us and selling it to China already.
For dominance. It's a sign. It's like a big show of dominance.
Well,
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a big sagging balloon right in your airspace and let everyone see how obnoxious it is.
with the technology they have, the balloon has to be just an FU because they've got all kinds of spy satellites. They've got all kinds of cloaking technology.
People do the balloon with the chalk inside of it for like a child's gender reveal and other things like that. The balloon is obnoxious. It's a big party item. It's a haha. We drop a ball that's like a balloon on New Year's Eve. They're doing the same thing to you, being like, haha, by the way, if you didn't pay attention in 2022 when we turned over a year and some odd days ago, when it was all red and yellow all over New York and Times Square and it was all Chinese communist bullshit. If you didn't think that was bad enough, how's this balloon hanging over your airspace? That's what they're doing.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a piñata.
I agree.
I mean, it's another way too to be like, oh, if we were really spying on you, we'd put balloons in your air. We wouldn't use TikTok and buy your data through Samsung and all these other things that we manufacture. And then the U.S. government found out that we were putting spy devices in your computer screens and your computer chips and things like that. So yeah, it just feels like a big like we own you, we own your president. See it and you won't do anything.
Now, Ty on YouTube had an interesting comment there. He said, LOL, Tom is the man. I agree. I don't know how, but you're right. I mean, facts are facts.
I don't see that comment, and I can't pull it up on screen. So
Oh no, it is. Yeah, it's
It's
there.
second from the bottom now, but I mean, you can lie all you like. Abby's always the first one to doubt when someone agrees with me. Isn't that funny? That's why Tom needs the chicken cam.
She's just-
See, Nobel truth is correct.
She's just gonna get Elon Musk over here to delete that and pretend that it didn't exist.
Oh man, yeah. How's that working out? I had so much hope for Elon, and I also knew that it would be misplaced, but I still had to put the hope there anyways.
What's your thoughts on that, Abby? Because I feel like we've kind of disagreed on this a little, but I want to hear your.
Yeah, you were
opinion.
suppressing him. Don't you forget?
You were suppressing Elon Musk.
E.
Yeah, don't you remember suppressing Elon Musk by disagreeing with him publicly?
Yes, I disagree with him publicly, and he was silenced.
So he owns all of Twitter, but you silenced him with your disagreement.
Yes, with my disagreement.
That was what the chat said. If anyone's not following, the chat said that 2 weeks ago, and I concur. By the way, still.
Yes, because everyone knows, and this is the true the kernel of truth in the lie that they're telling, is that the lies that they're telling are so weak that all you have to do is disagree with them loud enough, and everything comes crumbling down. They need
like
you to be
Kanye
silent.
West.
Yeah.
Right? Am I wrong? Am I saying that wrong?
I don't know.
Hey, Mr. DJ's over on Rumble says all they have to do is end someone to bed the politicians. We know they're deviant wastes, all of them. I don't disagree. The guy from North Carolina, what was his name? Madison Cawthorn.
Yeah.
Who said they put a line of coke on his desk and said, "Do that right now or else." And so he denied it and then had to go to the news and tell them that they all do coke orgies. How many do you think he was a part of until he realized it just wasn't enough fun because he's paralyzed?
Only one.
Only one.
And that there weren't enough hot
He rolled
girls
in
there.
and was like, "Damn, this isn't any fun for me." And he was like, "You know what? I'm gonna go be a narc instead."
He was just mad that it was all like old white men and not hot girls. That's what it came down to.
I think he's mad that he was invited to the orgies and Nancy Pelosi was there, and he's like, "Yeah, no."
Yeah, Chuck and Nancy were like, "Welcome, welcome," and he was like, "Ah." And honestly, that's messed up for him because
He was hoping
body shaming.
He was hoping for AOC, and the most he get was Ilhan Omar and her brother.
Hey, some people did some things that night.
I want Madison to grow up just a little bit and then to get back into it because I think he could be good, but he just needs to
be a walkout. You know, he needs to be a walk-on. He needs to go out there and just
roll on.
Well, if you're gonna laugh about it.
That moment though, when he stood for the flag, that was a good moment. Do you guys see that, CPAC?
When he put his little Forrest Gumps on and stood up.
Yeah.
Anyone can use machines to do things. Hey, you watch me take an elevator, you can call me a flyer.
No,
if I get in an elevator and go 20 stories up, you can say I'm flying. Just like he stood.
He wasn't trying to pretend it was a miracle, but it is difficult.
Hey, if I use a mechanical equipment to raise myself, am I doing that thing? If I'm on an escalator, am I floating, by the way?
I can't believe I'm defending Madison.
Madison Orgy?
He was never unkind to me.
Yeah,
I didn't think very
him,
highly
though,
of him, but he was never mean. He was a good kid.
Do you know him well, or did you just only hook up with him a couple times?
I saw him every day. Played football.
That's what happens when you date
not
someone,
a lot.
you know. Hey, so AOC, she's married now, or no?
I don't think so.
She's engaged?
I thought she was engaged.
Okay.
To the guy with the weird feet.
So the guy she was funneling campaign money to, right?
Oh, her handler.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, do you think that Pelosi had a handler at some point, like Paul, and that he's like the investment/gay guy, and he was supposed to be the conduit to the politics of it? Like that they're like a machine?
Well, wouldn't Nancy have been his handler?
No, I'm saying she's the political hand, and he's the hand in the glove. Like he would be the muscle moving things in finance.
Which is interesting because did you guys see the footage that came out this week and listen to the phone call? What's your guys'
The
thoughts on
footage
this whole
seems
thing?
doctored to me. I'm not a doctor or a footage expert, so I can't tell one way or the other, but I think it's doctored. Because
I
who
didn't
opened the
watch it.
door? If you watch the
Right,
film
yeah.
of you didn't see the Paul Pelosi video? Abby, you should pull up the Paul Pelosi body cam footage and watch it on screen right now with all the people on Thursday night with us live.
Should I?
Yeah,
The
you
only
should.
reason
In
I
fact,
haven't
I'm
watched
going to
it-
do one thing really quickly. I'm going to hit the quick pause and I'm going to jump out of here. I'm going to put you, Abby, you're on. Take it. Take it. Abby, you're on. Go.
I don't know why both of them had to go away, but I'm looking for this Paul Pelosi footage. But the reason I didn't watch it because I genuinely think that there was some gays want to see it. So has anyone in the chat seen it? That's what I want to know. Has anyone in the chat seen the Paul Pelosi footage, and is it safe? Should I watch it?
You should watch it.
Where is it? I'm looking for it on Twitter. Oh, okay. Here's one. Let's see. Share my screen.
Do you want to show the video or the phone call first? Or is it just the video you found?
I'm not even I don't even think I found the full.
It's only like 2 minutes long.
Okay, let me see.
So the phone call, or do you have it pulled up? There we go.
I have this hang on.
Like that full screen.
Wrong direction, Abby.
No, you don't have to do that. Just click the little arrows on the corner.
Well, it's too late. Okay. I thought I shared my
You
sound.
didn't share your audio.
Why am I like this?
This is what happens when I don't have the ability to do all the stuff.
Share system on. I thought for sure I clicked that. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, definitely don't want all of here. I definitely don't want all of here. Hello. Yeah. Fucking said 2620, right? No, 2640. Oh, yeah, it literally said in there. Hi. How you doing? Oh yeah. What's going on, man? Everything's good. Hi. Drop the hammer. Nope. Hey. What is going on right now?
I'm not getting an answer on call back.
What the?
In the area that you're from Ania.
I got him,
What the heck?
Edward 14, Edward 10, backup code 3.
Code 3 backup at 26
Give me your fucking hand!
units code
Give me your fucking hand!
40 Broadway for 14 out.
Is he snoring?
Edward 14, Edward 10, medic.
Well, he got hit in the head with a hammer. You're laughing about him having a head injury at that point. You're laughing because he's going after he's got a fucking closed head injury.
Oh, I'm a monster. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
You're laughing because he's on the floor going, "Ah,
oh, it's a dog.
puppy."
It's a puppy.
Hello.
We love a puppy.
Say hi.
So you're saying, Tom, that you don't think that footage is legit?
Uh-oh. Hang on. I don't know what I'm saying right now.
I don't know what you're saying either. I'm asking you.
She's gonna choke herself out trying to jump back down. There you go. Okay. She can go out. That's fine. Kyle, go out. Go.
Okay.
Frankly,
911
I
call?
don't. What? I think that I don't know. It seemed odd when you go back to it. If you were gonna pull the video back up, not that you need to, but if you were going to, the very first little bit where they're going up to the door, it just seems odd to me that the door opens without any hand on the door. You don't see who opens the door. So to me, if I'm looking at this going, is it a retouched video? Is it not? The first thing I'm looking for is there something missing where I would have otherwise thought there would be? And I don't see someone open the door. So maybe someone opened the door and they retouch a couple frames to make it look like there's not a third person there, for instance. I don't know. It just looks odd.
I thought the phone
So-
call was really telling too because
You want me to play that?
the pape.
Yeah, if you have it.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, yeah, play that and then I'll tell you what I think.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Friday, October.
Yeah, it's just taking a few minutes to start.
2022.
Oh, I called by mistake. What is it?
This is San Francisco Police. Do you need help?
Can you pause this really quick?
He called by mistake.
What's that voice in the background, like the digital voice?
It's the I think it's dispatch. Like
Is that just
telling- it's
dispatch?
the timestamp.
Okay. I just find it funny that it overlaps his voice.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
go
think
ahead.
it's a robot in the system marking it.
The timestamp for the live call.
I was just
Yeah.
curious.
Oh, well, there's a gentleman here just waiting for my wife to come back. Nancy Pelosi.
2:23
He's just waiting for her to come back, but she's not going to be here for a day, so I guess we'll have to wait.
Okay, do you need police, fire, or medical for anything?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
2:23 and 58 seconds.
There's the
Oh, this is something I learned during the Murdaugh trial is that a lot of these systems automatically stop recording when people stop talking. That's why it keeps clicking on and off is when he's
Oh, so it's telling you
quiet.
how much time maybe in between each
Oh, okay.
statement.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
is the Capitol Police around?
2:20. No, this
They
is San
usually
Francisco.
protect my wife. They're usually here at the house protecting my wife.
No,
But
this is
gentleman
San
came in.
Francisco Police.
Friday,
I
October.
no, I understand.
2022.
Okay, well,
02:24
I don't know, what do you think?
18 seconds.
That's okay. Can we pause it really
Right
quick?
there, he goes, I don't know. What do you think?
This
I don't know, what do you
call is, yeah, it's already so confusing because he turns around to David DePape and he goes, "Well, I don't know. What do you think?"
Do we need the cops here or not? You gonna kill me or what?
It's really
It's
weird.
an odd thing.
Yeah.
Like none of this makes any sense. The fact that he's asking for the state police, which we already knew before it came out,
The Capitol Police.
or
right?
Capitol Police, yeah, is weird. But then the fact that he's like David DePape's there with him, and he's not. It's not like you've heard those stories where someone will call and be like, "Hey, can I order a pizza and deliver it to this address?" And the cops are like, "You're under duress." You're like, they get that, right? This is more like, it's so. I don't even know what to make of it.
Did they get drunk and think in their drunkenness, like, we're going to stage a thing that'll be helpful to pull Nancy?
Well, that's the question too. Is like, is this entirely staged? And he was like hoping to get a different police department that would be more cooperative. Is that why he's asking for the Capitol Police?
Like
He's
when he called the police, he goes, "Wait, who is this?"
yeah.
He
He's
goes,
like,
"Wait,
can we run with that?"
"Wait, what is this?" And they go, "This is the San Francisco Police." He goes, "Wait, no, I'm looking for the Capitol Police. They're normally here because of Nancy." Like he already is thinking like, if I call the police, it's gonna be them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just super strange. It gets weirder. Play a little bit more.
Tonight would be fine.
Okay. Call us back if you change your mind.
No. This gentleman just came into the house, and he wants to wait here for my wife to come home. And so, anyway, he told me to put the phone down.
Do you know who the person is?
No, I don't know who he is. He has this. He's telling me not to. He's telling me not to do anything.
What is your address, sir?
That's funny.
2640 Broadway.
They didn't sell Nvidia stock.
What is your name?
My name is Paul Pelosi.
He says that with such authority. My name is Paul.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Pelosi.
Yeah,
When
my
I
wife
heard that, I'm like, he's
Nancy-
like, you don't know who I am.
He's acting incredulous.
Yeah.
Oh, and I also want to point out, Game Henge Patriot. Thank you for the chat saying Lucy's in the subway with daffodils. Do you think that could be a code for LSD?
Sounds like it.
I don't think they're on LSD. I did.
What?
I said I don't think they're on LSD. For the record, I don't think they're on LSD. From that chat that says that they are, I don't think that they are. I've done
You don't
enough
think
acid.
David DePape is or was?
Honestly, he might. I don't. I've done enough acid. I don't think that you would be calling the police.
Yeah.
You don't want to deal
Yeah.
with them. They're a buzzkill.
It just makes you wonder what types of favors the Capitol Police have done for Paul
The
Pelosi. in the past.
Pelosi's.
Not backdoor Dave DePape.
Guys,
like, I don't
there's
know.
a
What do you
woman
think,
on this
David?
stream.
The fact that he expects the Capitol Police to do favors and keep things discreet for him, it does make you wonder, like, how much have they used them for their?
Right.
Yeah, a lot.
Right.
Says that, he thinks
He,
everything
he
else,
thought he had
you
speed
know,
dial.
He told me to put the phone down and just do what he said. Okay?
Okay, what's the gentleman's name?
I don't know. What's that? My name's David. The name is David.
Okay, and who is David?
I don't know. What's that? I'm a friend of theirs. Yeah, he says he's a friend, but as I said, I've never.
But you don't know who he is?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I don't believe him.
He's telling me I'm being.
Yeah.
Oh. I gotta stop talking to you, okay?
Okay. You sure I can stay on the phone with you just to make sure everything's okay?
No, he wants me to get the hell off the phone.
He wants me to get the hell off the phone.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
So, Mr. DJs asks a good question on the Rumble chat. He says, assuming it's a he, he's a mister.
Yeah. It's 2023. You don't know anymore.
They say, who was with him in the DUI? Paul Pelosi. Who was the male in the car with him that was unnamed? Was the perp part of Nancy's film group on January 6th? Hey, check into that one because David DePape was there. He's on camera. I'd like to see the break-in part and compare the way the glass broke. I'm pretty sure it was not only outwards, noticeably outwards.
Yeah, wasn't there proof that the glass was broken noticeably outwards? Like,
Wasn't there proof he was there on January 6th? It's all fucking crazy.
It's all crazy. And the fact that, like, David DePape is there and he's like, yeah, you know me. Duh, we called the police. Like, that's the weirdest part.
Like, what's my name? Oh, yeah, it's David.
They start the call off together, and he turns to him. He's like, "What do you think?
What do you think we should do? I don't know. What do you want on your pizza?"
Like, if he was,
it was like that. It was like, "Hey, I'm ordering a large with extra cheese. What do you want on it?"
But if they like, that's the thing is like, it's not like he snuck away into the bathroom.
Order pizza later.
It's not like he snuck away into the bathroom. Was like, "Hey, I got a call while this guy thinks I'm taking a leak." He's standing with them, and they're talking to the police for 3+ minutes. And then he goes,
and the whole
time
he
get off the phone.
Yeah, and he's like making out with David DePape intermittently.
That's what those breaks are, where you hear the police automated voice.
Yeah, probably.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, hey, PJ and I are gonna order a pizza for our dinner tonight. So if anyone wants to throw down on our Jets pizza order, just throw a super chat and holla.
Yeah.
And let us know what's your favorite. Aha! You almost showed your terrible stuff that you don't. I'm messing with it. Yeah, let us know. Hey, how about this? Super chat your favorite topping of your pizza because I'm dying to know. Like, I think I'm weird for only liking cheese.
I'll be honest. I tried anchovies once, thinking it was supposed to be gross because I grew up watching Ninja Turtles, and I kind of liked it. And it was weird that I liked it.
The other one that I do is barbecue chicken, which is literally just the barbecue sauce
yeah.
with the chicken and the onions, and that's all. Bacon, maybe. But if you do pineapple and you want to call it Hawaiian chicken, then get the hell out.
Exactly. Get out. Get out of the chat.
And I won't expect to see anything, by the way. I'm just curious to know if anyone does have a favorite. The last thing that I had thought we could chat about while the last call has been called. And is there one?
While he's pulling it up, what do you think of that call, Abby?
It's weird stuff. It makes me think that they were expecting to be able to call up the Capitol Police and order pizza. I really think you're not actually that far off when you make that joke.
Well, if they were really fried and drunk, then it would make sense. They're like, "Yo, let's call the police and try to and like they're just like out of their minds, thinking, "Yeah, it'll sound so great if we like pretend like what if they're just really cooked and they're staring into each other's eyes, tugging each other, going, "Okay, I'll call the cops. I know you heard me." And then you pretend you pretend you're the guy who broke in and look really great for Nancy. And then in the 2 minutes it takes them to call, they realize it's not a great idea. And now they have to like play this off somehow, and the rest is what we have. I don't know.
That sounds more plausible than the story that this guy broke in.
Because it was awkward. He was like, I have a hammer. Now what do? I guess I just
have to hit him. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very Kai.
Yeah, it was weird.
You remember Kai?
Kai.
The trucker or no, the hitchhiker Kai?
Oh,
who had the hatchet, and he was like, I saw this dude and he hit that lady with his car, and so I just went like wham, 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 and he went viral for beating a person to death. Sad times. Oh, I have a thing. If you want to hit the share, Abby, you have control on that.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't trust you guys anymore.
You know what kind of pizza they wanted to order? Oh yeah, geez, I bet you they wanted to order the deep state cabal kind of cheese pizza.
Yeah.
With almond sauce and sausage.
No,
and
it's walnut sauce.
Walnut sauce. Did I say almond?
Yeah, it's
walnut sauce. Sorry.
Yeah,
you probably know.
I've read that
everything about
too
it
many times. Yeah.
Everything about it that you know.
Get your creepy symbols right.
I've read the stupid Podesta emails too much.
PJ wants to make sure we all know about what the.
Walnut
do you know any
sauce
other?
And a handkerchief.
Do you know any other terms?
Probably, but I have nothing off the top of my head.
If you had to guess, right now, if you had to tell the chat 5 different, if you had to say them right now, it's there are no wrong answers. 5 possible terms.
Trafficking terms.
Yeah, like code word terms for trafficking of pedos.
There's handkerchiefs.
You don't have to be real though. This is like a fun game.
I was thinking of like the ones that are real. I know cheese pizza, handkerchiefs, maps, and walnut sauce, but I'm trying to think of a 5th one.
The golf balls.
Golf balls. Yeah, we'll go with that. That's a good.
What's golf
one.
balls mean?
Okay, you guys. Let's get back on task.
Jeez Louise. Can't come up with something.
Fat 5-year-olds.
Truckers don't improv, do they?
No.
The only you can super chat. Wait, you can super chat on YouTube. No, you can't.
No, not on YouTube.
Slip Wuzzle. Yeah, that is why we don't have any way of super chatting the show on YouTube because we are not monetized on YouTube yet or at all. But we are monetized right off the bat on Odyssey and on Rumble.
Yeah.
Because
so
that
I just
is where the cool kids are.
YouTube will reassess us in March.
Yeah.
Reassess us.
We were supposed to be able to get monetized, and then they decided we were too conservative. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and by the way, you should have known that was coming because I expected that, and I said it when we had Salty on. I was like, well, get ready to get nuked because our YouTube's going to get removed. And it was within a 24-hour period that we had our first strike, and then it was not on that channel or not on that video, but something different. Yeah. And within I think 3 days, 72 hours, we had our second strike on a different thing. And so
we found out that when we got Conspiracy Pill monetized, but the only way they would do it was go through and delete old videos. And that's what they did to us. So everything is up on Rumble. That's why we prefer people watch our show on Rumble. We actually get almost triple the numbers on Rumble that we do on YouTube.
And what's crazy, I'll throw this out there. We have 50 something odd people watching on Rumble. Yeah. And we have 318 subs. So the fractionality there, not that everyone's back, but the proportionality is awesome. We're getting way more people who are engaged in the audience, who are watching and talking in the chat and all that, liking. For instance, my solo crap that I shovel at 5 o'clock every day. Yeah. If I have 3,000 subscribers, I only have 100 people to watch. So we have 300 people subbed and 50 watching. It's a huge deal.
It's awesome.
Yeah, Rumble is the best. The best. So we were getting into this wonderful little video here.
Oh, PJ had a fun weekend.
I decided I was going to go to Finland and try my hand at being an ice skater. So I just wanted to share it with the audience.
I commend you.
Yeah. So if you want
brave.
I was brave, bold, and beautiful. If you want to play that video that people can see What it would look like if
full
I
screen
became an
that
ice.
thing. I really gotta
an ice
get my
skater.
eyes on that. Can you full screen?
So
You
you
got
can.
it?
Wait, it's you, right? Or she's.
No,
sharing?
she's gotta do it.
No, you've
It's
it's
on your
screen.
screen.
Chill out, everyone. Relax. I'll do it. I'll handle this.
This is not my
Somebody knows
fault
what's
this
going
time.
Hang on a second. Let's go. God bless. Big screen time.
There we go.
Hey, you want to hit play, Abby?
ajatuksen lähteä toteuttamaan lapsuuden haaveita ja
Wait, can you hear the audio on that?
I
You can hear the guy being Polish and shit?
Yeah.
luistella naismoodissa, vaikka syntyperäisin olenkin mies. Ja sieltä on niin kuin 9 vuotta aikaa, eli siihen 9 vuoteen sisältyy aika paljon. Eli kun lähdetään ihan nollasta, niin ihan jo sitä, että pysyy pystyssä 2 jalalla.
This guy was my 4th grade teacher.
The Babylon Bee wrote a great article on this, and
Do you remember what the headline was?
here, let me share it. I'm gonna pull yours
Wait,
down.
when do you start working with them full time?
I don't want to because I like them too much. Don't work where you. Rookie trans woman picks the one sport where biological women actually have an advantage.
That and synchronized swimming. Idiots. This guy really fucked up. Yeah, he put blades on his feet and then didn't play hockey. Not cool.
That is a good point though, because it's like 99% of the time it's like, hey, let me go into, I don't know, weightlifting where women can only bench press 120 pounds at like their peak, right? And instead it's like, let's do figure skating. If you play that video a little bit more in a second.
Oh,
like,
I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, the guy is like, I've skated on ice 3 times in my life, and I guarantee I'm a professional compared to this person.
Well, I mean, thank you, P.A. Mace. I always question if it's Pamace, Pamace, Pamache, Pamache,
yeah.
P.A. I think it's Pennsylvania Mace.
Okay.
I don't know. I have no idea. Stunning and brave.
Look at the triple. Look at
Look
the
at
triple
this.
here.
Triple Lutz. Triple Klutz.
Yeah.
Triple klutz.
The triple
Like,
klutz.
what did he even fall over? How did he fall?
No, well, no, it's a she, Abby. You
Bigot.
I am better than that man at skating, and I'm not good at skating.
Oh my god. I wish that PJ didn't have a wife and kids. He could move in and be my buddy. Waffle Salter says, Slip Wuzzle says, meat lovers. Jeez Louise. Thank you for the super chat, Waffle Salter. You're the king. You're the man.
king,
You're the
yeah.
MVP. Waffle Salter. I'm gonna have to do a Friday float show sponsored by Waffle Salter because you guys weren't there earlier. But Waffle Salter this week threw more money at my channel than most people should ever spend on any channel ever for their entire life. So thank you, Waffle Salter,
Thank you,
and to
Waffle
all the
Salter.
other people who are supportive of this channel and our channels independently. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We don't deserve you, but we're happy to have you anyway. So God bless.
We started over on Conspiracy Pilled.
You got rid of this lady on the screen. You didn't even watch the whole thing, Abby. I'm appalled. This lady fell over and we didn't even get to watch her finish.
This lady hurt herself for your entertainment.
Yeah, watch
I
this.
just
Watch,
don't
watch.
care.
Oh, watch. No, wait. She
There's
finishes.
the triple Lutz cow.
Okay, beautiful. Hey, she's gonna barely get back up now. Hang on, that's not even her strong leg, so you got to be careful.
That's actually a move right there. I don't remember what
Now
it's called.
they go
but
out there to
that's
save her ass. They were like, please. Okay, now she gets
a
up.
woman who can actually skate.
Oh my.
Or sorry, I should say an actual woman who can actually
Oh,
skate.
how fucking.
That makes me so sad that somebody who should have had an opportunity had to go in.
And now see, that's her strong leg. I told you, the
Yep.
left leg is the strong leg, and she couldn't even barely stand up. No, I'm gonna show you this again.
I think we're just
She
watching this
couldn't-
over and over.
No, I know, but I'm gonna tell you, she could barely not even stand up
Look at
on the
that.
right leg.
Oh.
Right leg toast, but left leg strong as an ox.
Strong as a man.
Because
pretending
she's
to be
a man.
woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eisen. Wait, what is it? Einhorn is.
Finkel is Einhorn.
Finkel is Einhorn.
Yeah.
There it is. Good lord.
That's okay. So I felt a little bit differently about it when I found out that this man is like 57 years old.
And has Down syndrome, so only laugh so hard.
But that's someone like taking advantage of a mentally
Yeah.
retarded person, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
that's
I
like-
was joking. They're not actually.
Oh, they don't have
retarded.
Down
No.
syndrome? I thought you were serious. I'm like, it wouldn't surprise me if someone was actually taking advantage of this person for their.
Got him. They were all like, "Yeah, I believe that 100%." Clearly,
When
they
I
had Down
look, I
syndrome.
saw the skating. I could believe it was someone with
I
Down.
saw him trying to stand up. And by the way, listen, anyone who's hearing that going, "Wow, I thought better of Tom." I know people who have Downs. They think that's funny. So you don't have to judge for everyone. Okay, I'm Downs with it.
I was Downs with that joke.
This guy, I don't know who he is, but he tells funny
No.
jokes sometimes.
No. It's gonna be the next. It's gonna be the next woman of the year. Listen, you say that now as a joke, but you watch ESPN is gonna have that woman as the ice skater figurine of the next like winter cover before the season's over. They're gonna have that woman, man, as the cover, doing like a spin, and it's it's gonna be computer generated because they can't actually do the move, but they're gonna have the move on the cover.
They'll actually make what was that Will Ferrell movie?
Blades of
Glory 2 featuring
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, Electric Boogaloo. Just to have this person in a movie.
Oh man,
Abby,
you
do you
guys.
want to come over for pizza?
I think it is about that time.
All right.
Thank you to everyone who has supported our channel and who has supported the show and continue to watch us. And again, thank you to all those who know that we've left Saturday night, our home that was never really ours, and come to our Thursday night, which was always calling our names. So thank you to everyone who has made that journey from Saturday to Thursday. We appreciate the move. Thank you all who are watching and hitting like and donating and subscribing and hitting the notification bell and making sure that you're subscribed to everyone independently and also together. And what else do you want to say? I know I'm trying to buy time for her to hit the button.
Hit the button, Abby.
Thanks all. Bye. Thank you all.
Oh, I was sorry. Bye.